homicide numbers increased yet again in 2023. This following a 30-year high last year, and as state police are still trying to solve several cases. Troopers are also trying to understand why we've seen the recent surge in murders. So Channel 3's Cam Smith sat down with state police today. Cam, what'd they tell you?
Darren, Vermont State Police say for the second straight year, homicide numbers have topped 20. They say it's a concern.
We are prone to have some violence like all states do, and you know, and in a small state with a low population, it certainly has a greater effect on people when they hear about it.
Major Dan Trudeau with the Vermont State Police reflecting on 2023, a year that saw 24 homicide investigations involving 27 deaths. Vermont saw homicides across the state from Brattleboro to the Northeast Kingdom. Over the course of the last 7 years, Vermont's homicide numbers ranged from 17 in 2017 to as low as 11 in the following year. But numbers started to rise after that, ultimately into the 20s over the last 2 years.
Typically been in the, you know, the low teens to mid-teens maybe for an annual, sometimes lower than that. It's certainly concerning.
Of the 27 homicides, more than half involved the use of a firearm. And of the cases investigated by state police, 7 are known to be drug-related, involving both suspects and victims from out of state.
It's turned to the source of supply is now coming to Vermont. There are certainly Vermonters that sometimes attempt to steal or rip off the drug dealer themselves, and there can be some degree of turf war between drug dealers.
In the month of October alone, state police investigated 7 homicide cases and 1 suspicious death in the span of just over 3 weeks, something that drained resources. Criminologist Penny Stuhl says that's among the many impacts of these cases.
It can increase people's perception of fear or safety. It can impact tourism. It can impact people's willingness to go to areas that have seen an increase in homicide.
Stuhl says only 2 years of data are not enough to indicate a trend in Vermont, but she says it's important to examine crime data to figure out solutions to the problem.
Nationwide, we're looking at what programs, what practices, you know, whether that's law enforcement or on a governmental level in terms of policies and practices, may have reduced the overall nationwide crime rate, and whether those can be applied to somewhere like Vermont.
Several cases from last year are still unsolved, including the murder of Honore Fleming in Castleton, the homicide in Wheelock, double homicides in Eden and in Burlington, and a case in Washington. The Washington case still classified as a suspicious death. However, police are treating it as a homicide. In the studio, Cam Smith, Channel 3 News.
Cam, thank you.